Aha! Thank you, Cooper. Jay Cooper, thank you very much. That was a little prompt there. I think my mic must have been on mute. I'm glad you said now rather than in half an hour's time, because I'd have wasted my breath for a while. So yeah, we should be back in action. If you can hear me, guys, just I don't know, let me know somehow if you don't mind. I'm assuming you can though. So yeah, the workout Wednesday, as usual. Good to have you all here and all that jazz. Just saying, this session today is it's focusing on developing our all-round fitness really, and it's a great session for mid-season. So in the UK, we're kind of mid-summer, or getting towards the summer anyway. So whether you're doing sportifs, whether you're just looking to enjoy riding your bike in the summer, chances are the summer's where you do most of your riding. You may have a cycling holiday, you may have some races, whatever it is. It's important that we train towards an event without doing too much of the same thing. And the tendency is when the season starts, or you're kind of getting towards, especially for racing. Now this is so true for racing. When you're getting fit and you're heading towards a race, there's a tendency to do loads and loads of intervals, loads and loads of racing, and just neglect that, neglect some of the basics. So we talk about marginal gains and really focusing on my bloody chains come off here, guys. Well, a bit embarrassing. Sorry about that. My my chain popped off. What was I saying? Lost my train of thought now. Chain's back on anyway. But yeah, today, no, in the season, that's what I was saying. When you're coming to race, and tendency is to do too much intensity in your training. So too much racing, and not enough. Not enough steady state, general kind of conditioning, and this is what you kind of basically neglect your aerobic base and your general sense of fitness. Now, a great way to make sure you can maintain that is to make sure you put time into your training plan each week to focus on doing the basics. So the idea of marginal gains and kind of fine tuning your form is all great. But really, it's all about a lot of it is about getting the basics right. So developing a big base, getting a lot of steady riding in, so as we can kind of build on that momentum for the future. So I've been dropped. I'm busily trying to catch back up. But while I do, again, we've got a couple of minutes left of the warm-up. I'm just going to change actually. There you go. So yeah, it's coming back to what I was just saying then. It's all well and good doing intervals all the time, but a lot of what bike riding is about is having a big aerobic base, being really efficient, and riding over a long period of time. And this session is perfect for developing that. So this session is basically going to stress your body in a similar way to what you would. Kind of the physical stress that you'd experience on maybe a 2.5–3 hour steady group ride. We're going to do all that in 50 minutes. And the way we do that is by varied, we call them intervals. So it's basically 45 seconds steady in zone 3, followed by 15 seconds spike into zone 5. So it's basically going from certainly an aerobic effort into an anaerobic effort. It's a version of It's a very extreme version of over-unders. But what this really tries to do, this session, is simulate riding in a group. So if you think about, doing a chain gang, so for those of you who maybe ride on the road with a group in a chain gang formation, so that's essentially got two lines, and one line is rotating through, moving over, and letting the next rider come through in the motion of a chain. This type of thing you see in professional races all the time. It's a very efficient way to move as a group. It's also preferred because it's a great way to make sure everyone takes their fair share of work on the front. So what this session does is replicates the demands of riding in chain gang formation. So the zone 3, the green bits of today's effort, is essentially, think of that as when you're in the wheels. So once you've swung over to do your turn in the chain gang and someone else has come through and taken the wind from you, you're in the green bit then. And then the spike then is the 15-second surge in effort you need to make to accelerate through while you're on the front and get back into recovery mode. It's that constant cycle, pardon the pun, that of repeated efforts, zone 3, zone 5, that you're likely to make if you're riding in chain gang or in any group really. So yeah, great to practice it. Obviously the one thing this doesn't give you is the technique side of things. So out in the real world, if you do get an opportunity with friends to ride and do a bit of chain gang, give it a go. My number one tip is when you're moving through or kind of on the fast line and you're about to move over, just make sure you fully cleared the wheel of the rider you're overtaking, about to pull over in front of. Otherwise you're going to pull over and take their wheel out. And of course, the outside line is the fast line, the inside line is the slow line, and the slow line needs to be a bit slower. So once you've done your turn, you kind of come through and you pulled over into the slower lane, you need to ease off slightly to let the next guy through. And it's half letting the guy through, and it's half your job when the guy in front pulls over, it's half your job to get through. So it's a bit of both. Because if one of you isn't slowing down, or someone's not slowing down in the line and forcing the next rider to accelerate and come through faster, the pace of the group is just going to pick up, and that leads to riding quite inefficiently then. You've got these spikes in effort, surges in speed. That's the complete opposite of what you want. What you want is a real smooth peloton or group riding in chain gang formation, traveling at a consistent speed, consistent effort, and yeah, that's a very, very efficient way to travel. And so it's a great session for your general conditioning, guys. So here we go into that chain gang. So guys, what we're doing now is your zone 3. So this is now you may be in the line or in somewhere in part of that, in that chain gang formation somewhere, but you're not on the front. You're just busy, maybe drifting towards the back now, maybe at the back, kind of pulling over to start kind of in the faster line. There's going to be a slight increase in effort as you obviously move into the faster line compared with the slower line. And then you can see in front that red banner, the red beacon. As we cross that, that is essentially when the rider in front of you pulls off and you come through. And that is your little surge in effort to do your turn on the front. So now we're on the front now. Little spike in effort. This is you doing your bit for the group to help drag the momentum and kind of keep the momentum of the group going. Okay, you've just done your turn, you're back in the wind, you're back in the shelter now. You can start recovering a little bit. And it's these repeated, surges into zone 5, which, if you're riding it for a prolonged period, will start to get uncomfortable. This is what makes us fit, essentially. Any session where you're riding a bit above, a bit below your threshold is really demanding. I know we're kind of way off threshold here, but it's similar kind of principles. And this will really, get your heart rate moving up and down repeatedly. And that's another great stimulus for making you a fit bike rider. Here we go, next little spike. There you go guys, done your turn there, good job. And what we're going to do then, after 10 of these kind of rotations on chain gang, so just imagine we're riding through 10 times, 10 rotations. In this case it's for 10 minutes. Then we're going to do a 4-minute ramp. So we're going to ramp from our zone 3, ramp up well into zone 5, over 4 minutes. So it's a much more steady ramp. So this is kind of simulates doing chain gang. Maybe you're in a breakaway in a race. Maybe you're doing a sportive. Maybe you're just out riding with friends. And of course you do that for 10 minutes. Here we go, another little spike in effort. And of course after 10 minutes, something happens. It could be someone attacks, you hit a really hard climb. Oops. I'll me later. Sorry guys. Or it could be the end of a race, so the idea here being, I'm going to visualize that we are in a race. We've broken away, all of us, 21 of us, we're in a 21-man breakaway. We're all chain ganging for our lives, hugely efficient. We built up a massive time gap, but then 4 minutes to go before the end, the race starts. We realize amongst us, we've all been loyal allies, we've helped look after each other, riding really efficiently, sharing the workload evenly. We've been doing that all day, but you know what, there does come a point where it's dog eat dog, and it's all for the win. And we turn on each other, like hungry wild dogs. We turn on each other, and we go from being best of friends and allies to, the darkest, deepest enemies. And we're basically going to race to the end. And the last 4 minutes is going to tip us anaerobic. It's going to create a whole load of lactic acid in our legs. And it's going to, feel like the end of a race. We're just going to ramp up slowly for 4 minutes. Then we're going to rest and do the whole 14-minute block again. Okay guys, we're coming up to halfway here. Halfway into our 5 minutes, or halfway through our 10 minutes, so coming up to 5 minutes of the chain gang. And again, this should be a fairly sustainable effort. It's a bit uncomfortable, but we shouldn't be producing too much lactic acid here. And these little spikes, these little anaerobic spikes, are only 15 seconds long, so they shouldn't be too challenging. Good job. We should be able to just sit here, guys, and just soak it up, soak that effort up. Nice one. Nice one. That's going to change the view we've got here, guys. Just give you a little different view of the pack. What else have we got? No, that didn't work. Well, I'm really cocking this up today. I'll leave that. Okay guys, another little spike here. Another little spike. We should all have a little spike, little sweat on here. Allez, allez, allez. Famous French words for go, go, go. If you've ever been at the Tour de France, or I guess most French races, that's pretty much what they shout at you. Or as a fan, what you should be, not should be, but what a lot of people shout as encouragement to the races. Because this today's session isn't that explosive. It's not really explosive at all. And we are kind of just riding into it nice and steadily. And we're not creating a whole load of lactic acid too early. So we really can, ride into it So again, at the start we've done an 8-minute warm-up. That is absolutely ample for a session like this. And because for that whole 8 minutes, we are producing force, we are working our whole system, our heart, lungs, our legs, lots of muscle fibers being recruited for the whole 8 minutes. That is enough to really warm us up for a session like this. If we were going to be doing some sprints or something a little bit more intense and specific, we'd likely want to warm up a bit more thoroughly. So by that, we probably want to do some surges, literally 5 or 6 second sprints, minor sprints, accelerations, just to really get that blood flowing and yes, recruit and kind of get as many muscle fibers as we can firing. And the reason for that is as soon as we start our efforts, we've then got a greater volume of muscle fibers warmed up and ready to function, which is going to lead to more muscle stress, greater power output, and all around better performance and training. And obviously post session then, when we look to recovery, we're gonna have more muscle damage that'll be repaired and strengthened, and we will come back stronger, as theory goes. So warm up is really important, as well as reducing the chance of injury or pulling tendons, ligaments, or spraining something. And it also, of course, gets us in the right mental state. So warming up, vital for us all. Okay guys, into number 9, the 9th little surge. Good job everyone, good job. There you go, you've got 1 more minute, and then we go into our ramp. Slightly neglecting the liquids today, just getting a little bit carried away, a bit excited. So I'd encourage you all to take a sip, keep the liquids topped up. Whew. There you go guys, in the distance, 15 seconds time, we're going to see our last surge here, our last spike of this first block, and then it's straight into a 4-minute ramp. And this is where we'll feel uncomfortable for a longer period of time. This is where the real benefit of the session comes in. Okay guys, here we go. So that's 10 minutes of anaerobic effort done, and all kind of aerobic spikes. Sweet spot you could call it, or spike zone 3 is a more accurate term because we're in zone 3. Spike zone 3. It's just going to help develop our general sense of fitness, as I'm sure we'll all agree is a nice feeling to have as a bike rider. Just that ability to ride along up a climb and not be gassing and thinking sheerly about survival getting up it. Being able to get to a climb and just choose a gear and ride up it. At the end of a ride, when you may normally be tired, when you're fitter, a fitter athlete is going to be stronger at the end of a ride, be able to absorb a greater workload, great sensations to have, and this session is going to help develop that. Okay, so that's 1 minute done already, guys, of our ramp. 3 to go. If you start struggling in this, guys, if you're thinking, I'm on my limit here, I've got over 2.5 minutes to go, on the left hand side there is that get out of jail option, just to knock down the intensity slightly. If you can hold off, and really dig deep in this one, guys, because after this 4 minutes, we've got 8 minutes. It's quite a long time where we can really recover properly. Good job, guys. Awesome. Awesome. This is where the pain comes in. Well done. Proud of you all. Just remember, guys, you're not alone here. You are not alone. We're all in it together. In our individual houses, our garages, our bedrooms, our offices, our attics, our gardens, wherever we are. Zwift studios, gym studios, wherever we are in the world, across many countries, we are in this together. So if you're hurting, just thinking I'm not alone, everyone else on Zwift with me is doing the same thing, feeling the same, making the same effort. Yeah, keep squeezing. Good job. Never surrender. Never surrender. Okay guys, just over a minute left of this ramp, and then we've got 8 minutes recovery. So I know it's hurting now. The legs will be hurting. God only knows what other parts of your body are hurting now. It's just about turn those pedals, keep chucking out those watts. Just lay that power down. There's no easy way around it. So don't go changing gears all over the place in search of that magic gear. It doesn't exist. If your cadence is around 80 something, 80 to 90 revs, that's fantastic. If you're in the 60s, you want to think about slightly easier gear. You just got to grind it out now, guys. 20 seconds left. Well done. We are almost there. Here we go, entering the blurry stage. It's the blurry stage. Excellent, guys, well done. Great job all. Great job. Let's just take a little bit of time to recover. So for those of you not in erg mode, this is the place not to get carried away and ride too hard. Stick to the watts. Stick to whatever watts your target watts are. Make sure nice and easy. Recover as much as possible, so we can then get the most out of the following session. And you know what? Speaking, I host the Zwift coaching podcast, which are released every other Wednesday. So it was released this morning. So if you're into your podcasts, or maybe you're not, but you might give one a try, you're open to it, download or listen to Zwift's coaching podcast on iTunes, SoundCloud and Podbean. You find it on there. And every week every episode, every 2 weeks, we kind of cover some different topics, some questions from listeners, and hopefully there's some pretty interesting topics in there for anyone to take away. But one of the things we spoke about, or some of the topics we've spoken about that are quite good, interesting. Climbing always comes up. How do I become a better climber? Threshold. How do you develop your threshold? Now we are in a culture whereby FTP is kind of considered everything and the holy grail, and in the podcast we talk about threshold and what it is, why it is important, but there's more to being a good bike rider than just having a high FTP. But it does help you, a higher threshold, high lactic threshold, high FTP does help you become a better bike rider in many senses. Thank you, Mr. or Mrs. Brown, for the comment. Very kind of you. I'm just going to do a little plug actually. So I'm going to change the screen for a little promo. So keep your eyes on this. Okay, guys. So what you'll see on screen is an advertisement for Kirsten Armstrong's chrono. So Kirsten Armstrong, for those of you who don't know, Kirsten is a 3 times Olympic gold medalist. So fair play. A little round of applause there. The USA's most decorated cyclist of all time, and he's given the women of Zwift an extraordinary opportunity to race against the clock for a chance to win a 4-day, 3-night trip to participate in Kirsten's UCI Time Trial event in Boise, Idaho, this summer. So if that's of interest to you, there's a couple of criteria. One is you must be female. This is only open to ladies. So ladies Zwifters, listen to this. So to win, you need to finish one of the Chrono Kirsten Armstrong series events, the 10-mile events, on the May the 30th or May the 31st in under 27 minutes to qualify. And that gives you a chance to win. Now, one winner will be selected from the qualifiers to join Kirsten at the event and complete on that world stage. So that's a pretty unique, money can't buy, yeah, awesome opportunity that Kirsten's offering you female Zwifters. You know, if you're not sure if you'll manage it, just try your best. You know, if nothing else, it's a great marker or line in the sand. You know, what you can do for 10 miles is a great benchmark. Certainly in the UK, you know, 10 miles is a very popular distance that we all measure ourselves off. So yeah, give it a go. Now, all Zwifters who compete in the 10-mile time trial with a time of 27 minutes or less will be eligible. You must have a Strava account, smart trainers or power meters only, so no Z power. From the list then, Zwift and Kirsten will randomly select one winner. And to be eligible to win any prizes, you have to be female, 18 and older, and in the USA or Canada. So unfortunately, this is not open to any other nationalities. So you need to be in the States or Canada. And the only professional event of this caliber in the United States in 2018 is Kirsten's Chrono. It's open to UCI elite women and men, and there's also an amateur category. So it really is going to be a bit of a spectacle. And yeah, the 3-day event includes 2 other competitions that the winner can race, a twilight crit and a picturesque road race. So you'll be supplied a time trial bike and helmet and gifted a skin suit to keep, which is pretty cool. So check out the Zwift Facebook page for the official rules. I may have got a few minor details wrong, but hopefully that gives you the nuts and bolts of it. So yeah, fair play, Kirsten. Great prize, great event. If you're female in the States or Canada, get involved. Alright guys, make sure you're keeping hydrated here. Really important to keep hydrated. Okay guys, we got another block of what we just completed coming up in a minute. And again, this session, just to remind you all, it's a general fitness session, I would call it. So think about what it tries to do for you, what kind of the benefits of the session. It is it kind of simulates riding on the road in kind of chain gang formation, I think. It helps to make you an all-around fitter athletes. You can absorb a greater workload when you do some of your specific efforts. This is again really important to keep training 12 months of the year, I'd argue. You know, your base should never be, your aerobic base should never be neglected. And because we are into the season and when it's summer in the UK and the Northern Hemisphere, there is a slight little surprise on the end. So we do 10 minutes of riding zone 3 with little spikes of zone 5 to simulate kind of going through and doing your turn on the front. And each 10-minute block will finish with a ramped effort. So that's kind of what we call, that's tipping you into an anaerobic state. So with the fatigue of the kind of the through and off aerobic piece in your legs straight into the anaerobic piece, the anaerobic ramp. And that's going to create, yeah, quite a lot of fatigue, quite a lot of muscle damage, and we're going to kind of, yeah, develop our all-round fitness, but also touch upon our anaerobic capacity. So guys, here we go, into block number 2. It's time to go. Yeah, if anyone's wondering how these zones are calculated, and how the efforts are calculated, they're all, again, the efforts that we're doing are all individual to us. So I might be doing more or less watts than you. And that's because, you know, my FTP will likely be different to you. And so all the zones are calculated individually. And that's one of the huge benefits of workout mode in Zwift, is we can all do the same session together, riding in one group without splitting up and anyone getting dropped. Okay guys, our first little spike. So that's you coming through, doing your turn in the front, putting your weight so you're not getting towed along. Now we're all in this together. Good job. You're back in the line now, back in that chain gang line. Awesome. Awesome. Remember, keep drinking guys, keep drinking. Hopefully my chin doesn't come off again. Make my hands even more oily. Alright guys, 15 seconds. So just in the outside line of this chain gang, approaching the front. So the rider in front of you now is just doing their turn. And that rider in front is just about to pull off. Okay, just pulled over. So now it's your chance to do a turn in the front. Little 15-second spike. You know, recruit a few fast twitch muscle fibers to help make that power up. Okay, and we're back recovering now guys. Back in the wheel. Obviously the faster, or the fitter we are, the faster we can recover, and the more efficient we'll be riding, so the more we'll have left for later in the event. So training your body to make these repeated efforts, or these repeated surges, will help you in the real world. Yeah, it's going to enable you to produce power, go over your threshold, and then recover quickly, settle back into the line without carrying that fatigue in your legs and carrying that lactic acid. Okay guys, here we go. Next little spike. Nice, well done. Good job everyone. This may start to pinch a little bit as the effort does start to catch up with us. There we go, nice one. So how many gold stars has everyone got here? I'm sitting on 29 at the moment. I seem to have lost everyone else in game on Zwift, but I'm not sure what's happened. Hope there's nothing I said. The famous red buses of London there. Great scenery, look at that graphics. People waving at the bus stop. I think that was a Mexican wave there. Thank you. Okay guys, another spike in this chain gang, good job. And again, these spikes guys, really important just to stay composed and keep your body nice and still, stay relaxed. You obviously just want to be applying a bit more pressure on the pedals just to produce that extra power output that's required. There's no need to be rock and rolling or changing anything drastic about the way you're riding. Just a little spike in power is all we got to do. Good job, nice one. Nice one. I hope you've all got your fans on, because in my garage today it is absolutely baking. It is baking. I mean, 25 degrees outside, It must be 30 degrees in here, but luckily we've got the fans on full blast. So hopefully you're all doing the same. And don't underestimate the impact that heat has on your body and your cycling performance. If you're overheating, your performance is gonna drop, as your body has to work hard to regulate its body temperature and cool itself down, and that has a knock-on effect on the amount of power that we're able to produce. On the bike, obviously in watts. So if your numbers are slightly down on what you may expect or what you've done previously, amongst other things, heat and the temperature of the room you're riding in, your body temperature, is certainly a factor. Here we go. Nice one. There's another little spike done. We've got 4 more spikes to do, guys. So 4 more turns on the front. And then this event turns into a ramped effort to finish. And I say what this is trying to simulate is kind of a summer chain gang. So if you think about it, for those of you who do a chain gang out on the road, you're making constant little surges and effort to do your turn on the front, and come the end of the chain gang, there's normally a bit of a burn up, a little bit of a race for the cafe or wherever the event or the chain gang ends, and that's what the 4 minutes is all about, guys. Simulating that burn up at the end. Here you go, so just on the front now. Good job, good job. Just keep it nice and smooth. There we go. Now's a good time to have a drink. And now we've only got 10 minutes left. The liquids we take in aren't really going to be in our system and going to be benefiting us for the last 10 minutes of this session. What it does do is just that liquid on your lips sends the message to your brain because it thinks energy is on the way, and it will release, basically enable you to work a little bit harder. But also it's just that constant focusing on keeping yourself hydrated. So in the UK, it's pretty hot at the moment. The chances are throughout the day, a lot of us wouldn't have drank enough, consumed enough liquids. So if we start in the session dehydrated, we've really got to make a concerted effort to drink as much as we can, little and often. And just drinking now, drinking as soon as the session finishes. If you have a shower, after having a shower, top back up our liquids. It's almost every minute we're awake, hydration should be part of what we think about. That's not just for performance reasons on a bike, that's just for general health and well-being reasons. Here we go, another little turn on the front. Good job. Well, 1 more minute, guys, 1 more minute. And then we're into our 4-minute ramp. So you've got 5 minutes of effort left, and it's just a cool down. Nice one, good job everyone. Good job. 30 seconds. Final spike. And then I'm going to settle into the 4-minute ramped effort. That's going to take us from an aerobic, fairly comfortable zone 3 effort, right through to the top end of zone 3 into zone 4 threshold, out the other side into zone 5. which is an anaerobic effort. You know, we will be in oxygen debt. There'll be a bit of lactic acid in our legs, and you know, having to produce this type of power once we've already, you know, made 24 minutes of effort elsewhere, is gonna, you know, that cumulative build-up of fatigue and stress on our body is gonna make this final 4 minutes quite tough. Just settle into this now, guys. 4 minutes left. 4 minutes to go. Nice one. Nice one. There we go, 30 seconds done. And you'll notice the watts just ramping up. The power you require to produce is nudging up slightly. You know, so we'll be heading towards the top end of zone 3 now. Every 30 seconds or so, we're going to notice it getting a little bit harder and harder and harder and harder for 4 minutes. Now suck it up, guys. Just suck that effort up. Stay composed, nice and smooth. Just keep those legs turning, nice fluid cadence. There's no shortcuts here. Nice one. It should be starting to hurt, guys. If it is, you're in the right zone, you're doing it right. Good job. We've only got 2.5 minutes left. There's over 20 of us all in this together in the same boat. We're all hurting, we're all training, we're all kicking butt together. Just stick with it, well done. You're not alone. You are not alone. Two minutes 10 to go. It's hammer time now, guys. It's hammer time. And this is really the tipping point. So to date, in this effort, our body's able to, recycle the lactic acid quicker than we're producing it. So we're riding at lactic threshold, but that's all going to change in a minute. And our body is not going to be able to produce lactic. Sorry, not going to be able to recycle lactic or lactate as fast as we are producing it. And this is where it gets painful. Obviously, the more anaerobic we get, the more lactic acid builds up in your legs, the harder it feels, the more uncomfortable it feels. Here we go, guys, into that tunnel vision, that blurry-eyed state. We're in the hurt locker now. Whoa. 42 seconds to go. Not long. Suck it up, buttercup. Good job, well done. Keep it going. Nice and controlled, nice and smooth. If this is a running race, we'll be coming into the last banking now. Home straight. Nice one, 10 seconds left. 10 seconds to go. Hold it there. All the way to the line, don't give up too early. Through the line, come on guys, well done. Nice one. Woo! Great effort, everyone. Woo! That was a humdinger. That was a leg stinger. Oh, nice. So guys, all that's left to do now is cool down. We'll start recycling and getting rid of some of the waste products, the toxins in our legs, shake those out so our legs can start repairing themselves. and you can reduce the heaviness and that heavy sensation basically that we'll feel tomorrow. So if you didn't warm down and you let all that lactic, all that blood with that carrying lactic pool in your legs, that's going to feel horrific the nect day. In fact, you'll feel horrific all for the rest of today as well. It's just going to be a real uncomfortable set of sensations. So, cool down, really important. And also, as well as physically, also mentally as well, just to switch off. Some of that adrenaline will just drift away, and we'll feel better for it. So just to recap, guys, it's going to show you Kirsten Armstrong's chrono. So if you are a female rider in either the States, America, United States of America, or Canada, you are eligible to enter. And on the 30th or 31st of May, you've got to compete in one of Kirsten Armstrong's 10-mile time trials. Go quicker than 27 minutes, and you could be in with a chance of winning a spot to compete the event live at Kirsten's event. Full time trial kit, time trial bike, aero helmet. You even be given a skin suit, a custom skin suit. So cool prize, guys. Check out the website for that. I'm back in the room with less than 3 minutes to go. Well, guys, thanks for all the positive comments. I enjoyed that one. In a strange way, I enjoy them all. I absolutely love it. We're talking on Zwift Coaching Podcast that got released today about HIIT training, so high intensity training or high intensity interval training, and it's just that release of hormones and endorphins that make you feel fantastic, feel on top of the world. And whenever I jump off Zwift, no matter what session it is, I get that buzz, and I can feel it now. I'm just on a high. We've completed over 50 minutes worth of riding today. A lot of it was, so it's all been specific. So we've all been training smartly. We're not just aimlessly just plodding around or smashing around a big gear and going hard here and hard there. There's been a specific purpose to today's session. So we've all developed our aerobic base. It's not all about just doing one session and then boom, your aerobic base jumps. It's about that continuous workload, part of a structured training plan. But again, this session is a fantastic session to include in any weekly training plan, really, or include it weekly in any training plan. No matter what you're trying to do, whether you're a racer, whether you're riding sportifs, whether you just want to be a fitter bike rider to enjoy riding your local hills a bit more, this is a session for you guys. This is a session for you. And something we always say at Rowe & King, train smartly, not more. It's not all about just doing more volume and more intervals and riding harder for longer. It's all about measured, calculated efforts, with a bit of science sprinkled in there to help us get the most out of the time we put into our training. So most of us are, chances are you've got jobs and other things in our lives other than riding a bike. Friends, families, jobs, chores, whatever it is, distractions basically. We can't go out riding for 4 hours every day. Yet some of us want to perform or do an event that's 6-8 hours, maybe a super long sportif, loads of climbing. And the question is, well, how can I train for an event like that, say a 7-hour sportif, off 1 hour Zwift sessions? And the secret is building up that cumulative fatigue day on day. So say you ride Zwift for an hour Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. By Thursday, you're going to be starting Thursday's hour session with fatigue in your legs from the previous 2 days. That can trick your body into thinking it's training for longer than it is. So yeah, guys, thanks for joining. Great to ride with you. Same time next week. I'm Coach Matt Rowe from Rowe & King. This has been Workout Wednesday. Until next time, ride on.